a surrender dog. Some family just given up on him and given him to the shelter. We didn't know why it was. We named him Buddy, and he's a Jack Russell Terrier. It took us about a half a day to figure out why some other family gave up on Buddy. Buddy's an idiot. He's like, bark, 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 run, 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 bark, 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 bark. This dog would not stop barking. He's nuts. He's a sweet dog, but he's freaking nuts. So we went to the dog trainer. We said, what do we do? The dog trainer said, I have 2 ways of taking care of a barking dog. You have to teach, work with the dog. I'm like, fantastic, what do you do? She goes, well, one is a spray bottle with water. I go, I know, we've done that. She goes, no, not just water. She goes, don't want to do just water to a Jack Russell Terrier because they eventually like the water and think it's just a new way of getting a drink. She said, you got to mix about 40% of Listerine with the water. I'm like, oh, that's awful. She goes, no, it doesn't really hurt them. It just gets their attention, bothers them. Then they realize when they're barking, you spray them and say no, they eventually learn not to bark. I'm like, okay, Listerine in the water. Got it. She said, the other way, I have this electronic collar, and it's not a mean thing. It's not a shocking collar. She goes, it's a new thing. It's an electronic thing. When the dog barks, it puffs out this puff of citronella right in their face. So eventually they learn, they learn not to bark. I'm like, okay, send us the collar. Fantastic, we'll try that. Okay, great. So we put the collar on Buddy. I got the spray bottle ready. Everything was great. Buddy would bark, spray him in the face, like, okay, fine, I'm not gonna do that. Like that, he'd learn, okay, don't like it. One day, Buddy was having a really bad day. It was raining outside. He wouldn't stop barking. Anything that moved in the backyard, he would bark at. I'm spraying with the bottle. I'm trying to get stuff done. He's barking. He's bugging the heck out of me. I'm spraying him. He's barking. By the end of the day, this poor dog smelled like he was from the dentist's office. His hair was completely matted. His eyes were bloodshot. He looked like Nick Nolte's mugshot. That's what he looked like. And then the really sad part was he barked so much that day, the battery on the collar had worn down, and now the timing was completely off. But by the end of the day, he had learned. He's a smart dog. And I swear to God, by the end of the day, this is what he was doing. And then, when the sun came out, he was eventually running around the backyard again. He didn't care about the collar anymore. He didn't care about the Listerine, and we could not catch this dog. He'd be running around chasing squirrels, and we have an 8-foot fence that's about 5 inches wide, goes all the way around the yard, and the squirrels just run around the top of the fence and bug the heck out of the dog, and you can't catch him. Run, bark, 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 bark. But my fiance, her name was Audrey, she came up with something that was a brilliant idea. She would go out in the backyard when Buddy was barking and chasing the squirrel, and she'd stand right next to the fence and look up like she's trying to find the squirrel too. Buddy's smart. He would run up to her and go, oh, you're trying to help me. Where's the squirrel? She reached down and go, you idiot, I got you. You're done. All right. All right. Now I'm watching this thing, and the dog's smart. He's going to learn after about 4 or 5 times that, no, this is stupid. I can't run next to her. She's just trying to catch me. I thought, I'll get in on the act a little more. I did the same thing, but when I picked him up, I thought, I'm going to be part of the team. I would actually pick him up and hold him up. And I can pick him up just high enough that he could take his little paws on the edge of the fence and he'd pull himself up like this, honest to God, and he could look up and down the fence like this, looking for the squirrel. And then he'd look over and look in the other yard, and okay, no squirrel, and then I'd slowly lower him back down. And then we'd walk down to the edge of the fence like we're still a few feet down. I'd pick him up, he'd do it again. I eventually thought I was part of the team. Fantastic, it worked. 3 days later, I'm sitting on the couch. I look over at Audrey and I go, you know, that thing picking him up like that, that's working pretty well. She goes, yeah, working great. I go, wonder what that looks like from the other side of the fence. Sure enough, honest to God, a couple days later, get a phone call. Hi, Jeff, this is Bob from next door. Hey, Bob, what's going on? I don't know how to say this, but my wife says that your dog is spying on her in the backyard. I'm like, what are you talking about, Bob? He goes, well, I didn't believe her whatever, but yesterday I'm out in the backyard watering the lawn, and sure enough, son of a bitch, your dog is peering over the fence. I don't know how he does it, but then he lowered himself back down. I go, yeah, Bob. He goes, no, really. And then about 30 seconds later, he's 10 feet down the fence looking at me again. And then he lowered himself back down. I'm like, okay, Bob, I'll have a talk with Buddy. And he goes, no, it's worse. I go, what's worse, Bob? He goes, well, I think your dog's trying to kill us, but he's not good at it yet. I said, Bob, what are you talking about? He goes, well, a few hours later, he's looking at me again, but then he barked, turned his head sideways, winced, and an explosion went off.
That was really hard to do. Trying to keep my voice silent is a good trick I can do, but doing that was really hard because I kept trying not to laugh. I hope you enjoyed this. This is fun. I love Jeff Dunham. You guys should go check him out. I'm gonna be coming back with some more things I'm gonna do about Jeff Dunham. Go check out his Go check out his things. He's really good.